I wanted to kind of help you guys out a little bit with the math work that we have. So it's some of it's really simple, and some of it we're gonna have to remember how to regroup. Okay, so I'll give you this first example. 33 plus 25. Now we can go about this two different ways. A is the first way. Now the first thing we can do is just add our tens, then our ones. So let's rewrite the problem. 33 plus 25 equals. Now we can take that and we can do our tens. So 3, here I want to use a different marker. So 3 plus 2, because that 3 and that 2 is in our tens place. That's going to equal 5. Now we have our tens place. Tens, then ones. So we've done our tens. We're going to move on to our ones. So now that we're looking at our ones, that's 3 plus 5. So we're going to put that into our answer in our ones place. 3 plus 5 is 8. So now we know 33 plus 25 equals 58. That's the first way. Now B is our second way. We stack first 33 plus 25. Okay, don't forget your line as your equal, and also don't forget to line up your place values. Now this is really similar to the first way, except we have stacked it. And instead of going tens then ones, we're going to ones then tens. So 3 plus 5 equals 8. 3 plus 2 equals 5. We have the same answer, 58. Please remember that when we use this method of tens then ones, we can only do that when there is no regrouping. So let's work on a problem where we regroup. Now when we regroup, if we have the problem 74 plus 63, okay, equals, of course. Now, let's try it the first way. See if that works. So, 74, let's copy the problem, plus 63 equals. Now, when we do tens then ones, we start with our tens place. 7 plus 6, which is 14. Or 13, I'm sorry. So, when we say 13, we cannot put that into one place value. That is why our first strategy for regrouping will not work. But, if we look at B, and we stack it first, 74 plus 63, lined up our place values. Now if we solve it, we have 4 plus 3, which is 7. 7 plus 6, which is 13. But we can now, I don't know, I'm looking up at you. We can now put our 3 down, regroup our 1 into our hundredths place, which we know has a 0 in it right now for both numbers. 1 plus 0 equals 1, and we now have our answer. Okay? Now I want to do one word problem, because if you have a challenge question that is a word problem. So, I'm going to label this one challenge example. Now with our challenge example, I'm going to put a word problem. Ken has 56 markers. Sally has 49 markers. If Ken combines his markers with Sally, how many markers does Sally have, or I'm sorry, not Sally, how many markers do they have in all? Now, when we look at this word problem, let's reread it. Is that upside down? So let's read it together. Ken has 56 markers. Sally has 49 markers. If Ken combines his markers with Sally's, how many markers do they have in all? So there are a few things we can look at to tell us what to do in terms of our problems. So let's look at those. We know we have our first number, 56. Okay, so we have 56. We know we have our second number right here, 49. So we know we have to deal with a 49. Now, with addition, it doesn't matter what the order goes in for the numbers. With subtraction, it does. So we always want to put the bigger number first, just in case we have to subtract. Now let's find out if we have to subtract or add. There are two important words that can tell us what to do. It is in all and combines. When we combine something, we're adding them together. In all, we know means to add. So this problem we are going to add. Okay? Now, our next step is to actually use our methods to add. So we have to ask ourselves, do we have to regroup? We see it's 9, and we know that this number is a 6, so we know it's going to be more than 10. We see a 5 and a 4, we know it's going to be at least a 9, so we know we're going to have to regroup at least on one of them. So, when we rewrite it, we're going to have to stack it and regroup. So 56 plus, lining up my place value for 49, and now we're going to add it. 9 plus 6 equals 15. So we're going to put our 5 down because it's in our ones place, and then we're going to regroup our 1. Then we're going to add our tens. 1 plus 5 equals 6. If you need to see that visually, here you go. And then we must take this 6 and add it to our 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10. That's going to put a 0 on our bottom. That's going to put a 1 up top for the hundreds place. We know that in our hundreds place, we have 2 zeros. 1 plus 0 equals 1. That tells us that we have 105 for our problem. We're not done yet, though. We have to answer the word problem. It says, how many markers do they have in all? So, we know they have 105 markers, but we have to say that. They, or Sally and Ken, have 105 markers. It's getting close, guys. Here we go. And that is how we would solve these problems. If you have any questions, respond to this video and let me know.